Hello, this is Muriel Gerhard again, and this time I'd like to share another vignette with you, and it's called Peace, Peace, Sit in Peace. The picture is that of a classroom in an old-fashioned Hebrew school, and it's obvious that I went to Hebrew school, or in my day they called it cheder. The sign outside the old wooden building read, the Schechter School of Jewish Studies. You entered a small, narrow hallway, and you followed the sign to Rabbi Schechter's office. You then turned a narrow corner and went down a second hall to the classrooms. On your right was a wooden staircase that wound round to the second floor, which housed the library and additional classrooms. This had obviously been an old house, which was converted into a Hebrew elementary school. This school was well known in the neighborhood. It provided a Jewish education for the children of Orthodox Jewish immigrants who had settled on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. It was an after-school school. The children attended the city's elementary and junior high schools during the day and then came to Hebrew school from 3:30 to 5:30. The curriculum included the study of the Hebrew language, the study of Judaism, including Jewish ethics and morals, the study of the Torah, which consisted of the 5 books of Moses, and an exposure to the great Hebrew writers and poets. The teachers were all men, graduates from Jewish seminaries and from the most famous yeshiva university. The classroom doors had large glass windows on the top halves, which reflected the lights from the inside the classrooms. All the doors were closed. Outside one of the doors was a young girl, no more than 10 years of age. She was propped up on a high stool. Her long legs rested on the rungs of the stool. She was reading a book. It was in Hebrew. It was the first book of the Torah. She turned the pages as if she were reading an English book, and not one in a foreign language. For her, it was not foreign. The Hebrew was her first language. Her name was Muriel Menike. In Hebrew class, she was addressed by her Hebrew name, which was Menucha, which translated into English meant peace. She explained to anyone who asked or presented a questioning stance that she'd been sent out of the classroom and isolated on that stool because she had spoken to David, the cute boy who sat next to her. Wally, she said as she brushed her brown bangs away from her eyes. Wally. And then she corrected herself with, sorry, I mean Dr. Wallenrod. Dr. Wallenrod, her teacher, had her sit and read by herself most of the time here in the hallway. It's so boring, she said. What's wrong with these kids? At home we speak Hebrew all the time. I was born speaking Hebrew. How come these Jewish kids can't read or understand Hebrew? It's a shanda, a shame. To make a long story short, and why not, Menucha spent most of her time at the Schechter School on the stool in the hallway, reading all of the 5 books of Moses. In fact, she had the first book completely memorized and blew Wally away with exact quotes and exact page numbers. Wally assigned her readings of other Hebrew writers. Wally makes fun of me, she said, and she laughed. Since the Hebrew name Menucha means peace, Wally always says, Menucha shave b'menucha, which translated means peace, sit in peace. She tells him in Hebrew that she would rather sit with David than sit in peace, and that David is cute. He laughs, puts his arm around her shoulder, and walks her out of the room to the stool. When she was graduated from Hebrew elementary school, she expected to take the stool with her. But Wally said, "Lo." In Hebrew, lo means no. She protested vehemently, claiming that without the stool she was lost. I would be unable to read Hebrew without the stool. He laughed and shook his head. "Go," he said in Hebrew. "Go in peace." She went. And the years went by, all 10 of them. Menucha entered Brooklyn College as a science major. She had chosen German as one of the languages, since it was similar to Yiddish, which she spoke fluently. More importantly, it enabled her to read scientific articles in their original German. At the close of the second year, she discovered that another language was required for graduation. She was loaded with science courses, all of them requiring labs. She had limited time. A new language? No way. Her mother suggested Hebrew. Did they offer Hebrew? She raced to the guidance office. Yes, yes, Hebrew was available. In fact, they just hired a new professor, and he was meeting with students interested in his course in Boylan Hall this afternoon. Great, she said. God is on my side. That afternoon, she raced to Boylan Hall and found the room. It was filled with students who were milling around. Then she saw a head with a yarmulke, that small round skull cap, and then she saw the blonde hair. "Oh my God," she screamed. "Oh my God, it isn't. It can't be." The skull cap reversed itself, and the blonde head turned to her. "Menucha, if it isn't Menucha," he shouted. "Wally!" she cried. "Wally!" They hugged each other in wonderment. "Menucha shei b'menucha." Peace, sit in peace, he repeated with a warm smile. Menucha smiled. She suddenly knew he had always liked her, and he was proud of her. She would take Hebrew. She was saved. Where will you sit?" Dr. Wallenrath said, laughing. "No problem, Wally," she said, eyeing a stool in the corner of the room. Wally followed her glance and laughed. Then she asked, "Is there a David in this class?" Wally smiled, looked straight ahead, and pointed to the stool. "Peace, sit in peace," was his response. Footnote: there was a David in the class, and yes, he was cute. I hope you enjoyed Menucha Shei B'Menucha. I wonder if it's so easy for peace to sit in peace in this strange but conflicted and wonderful world we live in. But here I am, Menucha Shei B'Menucha, and at my age, yep, I do sit in peace. Shalom. May peace be with you too. Till the next time we meet. Thank you again for listening. Good night.